All right, so we're getting ready for a leaf sorter interview. And let me tell you, it's all about that laser focus, just like the job itself. Today, we're going to do a deep dive on this. We've got the RoleCatcher Career Guide and some common interview questions to look at. We're going to unpack what the leaf sorter role is really all about and how to really impress those interviewers.
It's fascinating, isn't it? This is so much more than just sorting. It's like being a detective of tobacco, you know, searching for those hidden gems to become the perfect cigar wrappers and binders.
Exactly. Speaking of impressing those interviewers, RoleCatcher actually has an AI feature. It helps tailor your answers to specific roles. We'll get to that a little bit later. But first, let's nail down those interview basics.
Yeah, let's jump right in. Let's start with a pretty common question. What motivated you to apply for this role?
This one seems so simple, right? But there's definitely a right way to answer it. Like, you might be thinking, well, I need a job. But the interviewers want to see more than that, right?
Absolutely. They want to see a genuine interest in the role itself. Did something specific about the tobacco industry pique your interest? Have you always been fascinated by cigars and the artistry of cigars?
Yeah, you want to show them you're not just looking for any job. You're drawn to this one specifically. And RoleCatcher has some sample answers to get you started. They actually even provide a response that's tailored to the leaf sorter position. Want to take a look at that?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay, so it says, I've always been drawn to detail-oriented work, and the role of the leaf sorter really caught my eye. The idea of using my skills to select the best tobacco leaves for premium cigars is something I find truly exciting.
That's a great example. It highlights your skills and it connects them directly to your passion for the work.
Yeah, exactly. And, the interviewer might follow up with something like, what excites you most about the tobacco industry?
Now they're really trying to get you to dig a little deeper. You know what truly intrigues you? Is it the history and the craftsmanship? Is it the global impact of tobacco? Maybe it's the science behind cultivating the different varieties of tobacco plants.
Oh yeah, there's so much to explore there, and showing that enthusiasm can go a long way. Okay, let's move on to another question that I'm sure is going to come up. How do you ensure that the leaves are sorted accurately?
Ah, yes. This is where that detective mindset that we talked about comes into play. They want to know that you understand accuracy is key for this job. Think about your process.
RoleCatcher emphasizes the importance of highlighting those specific methods and techniques. Like you want to mention checking for color consistency, identifying those tiny peers or blemishes, making sure the leaves meet those size specifications.
Precisely. You could even mention double-checking your work. Maybe you have a system for organizing those sorted leaves. It's all about demonstrating you take pride in your work and you aim for perfection.
Absolutely. And what do you know? RoleCatcher even gives us a potential follow-up. What's your strategy when you have a huge pile of leaves to sort through? They try to think of everything, don't they?
They really do. This question is all about showing them your ability to handle that volume without sacrificing accuracy. So you want to think about things like breaking down the task into smaller, more manageable chunks. Prioritizing leaves and even incorporating short breaks to prevent fatigue are great points to make.
It's like having a game plan for tackling that mountain of tobacco.
Uh,
Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit to a question that kind of digs into your past experience. Describe a time you worked under pressure to meet a deadline.
the classic behavioral question. Remember, they want a specific example, not just a general statement about how well you handle pressure.
I was looking at RoleCatcher, and they have a whole section on this. They advise choosing a situation relevant to the leaf sorter role. So maybe you had to process a large order quickly, or maybe you covered for a coworker.
Exactly, and focus on those steps that you took to overcome the challenge. Did you prioritize tasks? Did you seek help from others? Maybe you came up with a creative solution.
And of course, always highlight the positive outcome.
Yeah.
How did you meet that deadline? What did you learn from the experience?
And be ready for a potential follow-up here. How do you stay calm and focused when deadlines are tight? It's all about demonstrating your coping mechanisms, whether it's taking deep breaths, using positive self-talk, or breaking down tasks into smaller steps.
It just shows them that you have strategies in place to handle those high-pressure situations. This is great. I'm already feeling more prepared for this interview.
Me too. We've covered so much ground already, but we're not done yet. We have more questions and more insights to uncover.
Stay tuned for part 2. We'll dive into more interview prep and continue exploring this world of leaf sorting.
Welcome back to our leaf sorter interview deep dive. So we just tackled some tough questions.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're feeling that confidence build a little bit.
I know I am. But before we jump back into the interview prep, I kind of want to take a minute to visualize what a leaf sorter actually does day to day. We keep mentioning this detective aspect of it. Can we break that down a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You're examining each leaf not just for the obvious flaws like tears and things like that, but for subtle things that could really impact the quality. RoleCatcher's Career Guide even mentions tar spots.
Oh, yeah. What exactly are tar spots and why are they a big deal?
Imagine tiny little dark blemishes on the leaf. They might seem insignificant, but they can actually affect the flavor and the burn of a cigar. And a skilled leaf sorter knows to look for those along with variations in the grain of the leaf.
Wait, grain? Is that like wood grain?
It's similar. You want a leaf with a tight, even grain, especially at those premium cigar wrappers. It affects how smoothly the cigar burns and how evenly the ash forms. So it's really a whole science.
So you're not just you're ensuring the quality of the whole smoking experience.
Yeah.
That makes a roll even more interesting.
It really does. And RoleCatcher also gives us some insight into the potential career path for leaf sorters.
That's right. So it's not just a dead-end job. There's actually room to grow. They mentioned moving up to a leaf sorter 2 position. What does that even entail?
Well, that means more responsibility for sure. At that level, you might be grading the leaves based on quality, maintaining detailed records, and even collaborating with other team members to kind of streamline the workflow.
So not just a keen eye, but some leadership potential too.
Yeah.
What about becoming a senior leaf sorter? What does that look like?
Now you're talking big picture stuff. You might be overseeing that entire sorting process, training new hires, even collaborating with other departments to boost efficiency. You're essentially the leaf expert, making sure those quality standards are met.
Wow, from sorting leaves to leading the pack. It's impressive how this seemingly simple job can open doors to a real career.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher doesn't stop at career insights. They actually suggest ways to network within the industry.
I saw that. Attending local tobacco events, joining online forums. Imagine connecting with seasoned cigar makers and learning from the best.
Exactly. It's a great way to expand your knowledge and your passion for this field. Okay, now that we have a better understanding of the role itself, let's jump back into those interview questions. Remember where we left off.
We were talking about staying calm under pressure. What's the next challenge they might throw our way?
How about this one? How do you handle conflicts with coworkers or supervisors?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. It feels like they're trying to get you to spill the tea on your previous workplace drama.
Not necessarily. They're really trying to understand how you navigate challenging interpersonal situations. Honesty and specificity are really key here.
So instead of just saying, I get along with everyone, I should think of an actual example of a conflict that I faced. What if it involved like a disagreement with a supervisor?
That's perfect. Walk them through those steps that you took. Did you listen to their perspective? Did you try to find common ground? Did you communicate your concerns respectfully and professionally?
It's about demonstrating that you can address disagreements constructively without causing, unnecessary drama.
Exactly. You want to show them that you're not afraid of conflict, but that you can approach it maturely and find a solution that benefits everyone. And don't be afraid to mention what you learned from the experience.
That's a great point. It shows self-awareness and a willingness to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, conflict handled. What's next?
Let's talk time management. They might ask, how do you prioritize your tasks when you have multiple things to complete?
Especially in a fast-paced environment like leaf sorting, prioritizing is key.
Right. They want to know that you can handle a busy workload without getting overwhelmed. So RoleCatcher suggests showcasing your process. Do you use a to-do list? Do you prioritize by deadlines? Do you have a system for breaking down larger tasks?
It's all about proving that you're organized and efficient. And RoleCatcher provides a sample response that highlights those points.
They do think of everything. What does it say?
It says, when I have multiple tasks, I always start by creating a list and ranking them by priority. Then I break down the larger tasks into smaller steps so I can track my progress and avoid feeling overwhelmed.
That's a great framework. It shows that you have a plan and you're not just randomly jumping between tasks.
Okay, time management check. What else should we be ready for?
Teamwork is another big one. They might ask something like, describe a time you had to work collaboratively with a team to achieve a common goal.
Ah, the classic teamwork question. This one feels a bit easier, but I still want to make sure I hit all the right points.
Of course, choose an example that highlights your contributions to that team effort. It doesn't have to be some grand, heroic tale. Maybe it's as simple as working together to meet a production quota or brainstorming a solution to a problem.
RoleCatcher suggests focusing on how you interact with your teammates. So did you communicate effectively? Did you listen to each other's ideas? Did you contribute your unique skills to the team?
Exactly. And don't forget to mention the outcome. Did the team succeed? What did you learn from the experience? It's all about showcasing your ability to work effectively with others towards that shared goal.
So far, we've tackled conflicts, time management, and teamwork. Is there anything else that we should be prepared for?
Absolutely. We still have some more ground to cover.
You know that means. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll wrap up our leaf sorter interview prep and leave you feeling ready to ace that interview. All right, welcome back for the final stretch of our leaf sorter interview deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground here. You're probably feeling pretty confident by now.
Yeah, you should be. But there are still a few more twists and turns on this interview path. Let's see what else we can uncover from these RoleCatcher materials.
All right, bring it on. What other challenges do we need to be prepared for?
Let's talk training and mentorship. The interviewers might ask you to describe a time when you had to train a new employee or coworker.
The teacher moment. So I'm guessing this is all about showcasing patience and communication skills, especially when it comes to sharing knowledge.
You got it. Think back to a time when you had to show somebody the ropes, whether it was a formal training session or just helping a colleague with a new task.
Okay, so what kind of details should I focus on here?
We'll walk them through your approach. Did you start with the basics? Did you demonstrate things step by step? Did you provide clear instructions? And were you patient with their learning curve? Everybody learns differently.
It's about showing them you can break down that complex information.
Yeah.
And tailor your teaching style to different people. And RoleCatcher even mentions the importance of creating a supportive learning environment.
Exactly. Did you encourage them? Did you celebrate their successes? Did you offer constructive feedback to help them improve? All those details paint a picture of you as a capable mentor.
It's not just about being a skilled leaf sorter. It's about being a skilled teacher as well. Okay, training question check. What's the final boss we need to conquer?
This one might seem a bit unexpected for a leaf sorter interview. They might ask, can you describe a time when you had to analyze data or make data-driven decisions?
Wait, data analysis for a leaf sorter? I thought this was all about visual inspection and hands-on skills.
Well, that's true. But even in this role, there's often data involved. Maybe you're tracking the quantity of leaves processed, monitoring quality metrics, even analyzing trends in leaf characteristics.
So they're looking for analytical thinking skills, even in a job that seems primarily focused on sensory evaluation.
Exactly. And it's a valuable skill to highlight, even if you don't have a formal data analysis background. Think of a time when you used data to make a decision, even if it was something as simple as choosing which batch of leaves to process first based on their moisture content.
So it's about demonstrating that ability to think critically and use data to support your decisions. Okay, so let's say I have a good example in mind. How do I explain it in a way that really showcases those analytical abilities?
Walk them through the process. What data did you collect? How did you analyze it? What insights did you gain? And most importantly, how did those insights lead to a specific decision?
It's about showing them that I can connect the dots between data and action, even in a role that might not seem data-intensive on the surface.
Exactly. It shows that you're adaptable and willing to embrace new ways of working, which are fantastic qualities in any employee.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've covered the ins and outs of leaf sorting, we've tackled those tricky interview questions, and I feel like we've unlocked some secret interview ninja skills along the way.
And don't forget about the power of RoleCatcher. Their AI-powered tools can really help you fine-tune those answers and really prep for that interview. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
Right. Imagine getting feedback on your video practice, tailored specifically to the leaf sorter role you're applying for. That's incredible.
It really is. And the AI can even analyze your answers and suggest ways to make them even stronger. It's all about helping you present your best self.
So to all our aspiring leaf sorters out there, remember, this isn't just about sorting leaves. It's about showcasing your passion, your skills, and your dedication to quality.
Absolutely. With a little preparation and a lot of heart, you can turn that interview into a winning hand. Good luck.